Happy October, everyone. This is Tuesday, May Thomas. I'm so looking forward to sharing your October 8th till November 8th of 2016 intuitive tarot reading with you. In the meantime, I have chopped off a lot of my hair. I went to an amazing Tantra yoga retreat with Ms. Laura Carotti. If you have a chance to study with her, I highly recommend it. And it's interesting because a lot of this reading correlates with what is unearthing and what I feel that a lot of the transformational exercises we did at the retreat were about. So the beginning card is rebirth. And this is all about moving from the unconscious, represented by the camel, into the awakening level of the lion, which really speaks to going from being asleep to awakening and realizing all those parts of life that are not in sync with your truth, all those parts of the world that you've created, the world that you're living, that don't feel in harmony with your vision of yourself, with where you feel and you see you would like to be now in your life and embody now and also perhaps move towards. See, once you realize what's not true and you allow it to go, what is true, what has always been true, and what's always been there is then given fertile soil to grow and to bloom. But as long as it's covered, and you know, there's time and space, there's karmas and that if you believe in all that, so there's a divine timing for everything. But as long as you don't know what you don't know, you just don't know. And then you begin to awaken and you know, and then you're like, whoa, now I know, now I get it. I see so much of what I didn't realize before. So now I get to have a new innocence. I get to play all the keys of the flute. I'm awake now and I realize the instrument is in my hands. It's in my mind, it's in my mouth. My instrument is my body in this world. So I was fooling around and I really dig this, so I hope you like it too. Where you've been is new vision. If you've been watching my videos, which I know I took them all off, but since May when I started doing tarot, this was a big theme, creating a new vision for yourself. And it's interesting because this has also this theme where there's this being, if you can see it crouched down, and then there's this movement upward with these shapes, sacred geometry, exploring the aspect of consciousness and everything being interconnected and of one. And the co-creation of a new vision, and this is a major arcana. So this is very, very important. And this is what you've been doing for the last May, June, July, August, September, October, the last 5 months at least, maybe 6 months. You've been creating your new identity, and you might not be done yet. Like me, I just kept cutting my hair and it just kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And I truly feel that as I was releasing that which was not a part of the new vision, that there was certain memory and energy in the hair that just simply called to be released. And the more I kept working on myself, the more my hair would be like, okay, snip another couple inches off. Okay, snip another couple. And I'd be like, oh my God. But it's true. Now that I have allowed myself to release that which has not been my truth and that which does not allow my new vision the correct conditions for manifestation, well, that's got to change if I want my life to change, doesn't it? And this is exactly it. We all deal with this. This is a card of the emotions, laziness, but it also speaks to, you know, now that you know, you're getting a picture of your new vision and of how you want it to be. And you're beginning to, with that, get excited and get downloads of how you can help yourself further your co-creationship, your manifestation. Yet, we all do it, we get lazy. Circumstances are kind of cushy right now. You've got what you need to get by. You're not thriving, but you might even have a little more than you usually do. So you feel this ability to kind of kick back and drink beer in the afternoon or stay in your robe all day, which is great. That's really important stuff to do, yet it teeters on the verge, of laziness, and where one must be very mindful to stay disciplined, stay in tune, stay in touch with what is that truth. And only then will you be able to even perceive the possibilities that abound for you. Right? If you don't create the correct conditions within yourself, you will never see the opportunity that you're dreaming of, the life mate you're dreaming of, the vision you seek to embody in yourself will have a very hard time coming to be as long as you don't create the correct conditions within yourself. So what does that mean? That means that as you go through each day, you speak in love, you speak in light towards all of creation, including yourself, including your dreams, your visions, your wishes, your hopes, And it's really, that's the basic exercise to keep your vibration high, to keep your energy oscillating high, to keep your vibration alkaline instead of acid, through the thoughts that you think, the thoughts that you keep, the thoughts that you repeat, and the same with the words. So once we start to create the correct conditions, then we recognize possibilities when they come, because we have a different level of perception now. Like the eagle up here, the sun is either setting or rising, and the eagle can see everything. You're being invited to the wings of an eagle, to the perception of a mighty high being. That's the invitation. But you only receive the invitation when you create the correct conditions within yourself. The invitation is not going to come in the mail unless you do so. And it's a constant. So that's a card of fire, which helps to burn everything out, which also helps to balance the emotions. That really helps us to just gain that understanding emotionally, where something often will have to be purged. And like this little bird in the cage, she's wants to take off. She wants to fly. She knows deep inside herself that she's going to have to at some point, but it's whether it's now or never. This is a courage card of the emotions. It really takes a lot of courage to allow yourself to trust that things can be better, that you can show up in a nicer, kinder way, or that the world can for you and for others. But that's a part of your breakthrough. And it's a part of the opportunity, not necessarily the test, unless you really like to see it that way, but it's a part of the opportunity for you to then transcend, break through, literally, look at this person's solar plexus. And they're like fully in their power. And it's another major arcana card. So it totally speaks to that energy moving up from the base chakra, the second chakra, and now your I am presence is beginning to shine through in a new way. The root chakra is I belong. The second chakra is here I am. The third chakra is I am here. So you imagine all those energies moving up until bam, in the third dimension, I am here. It's very, very powerful. And from I am here, we drop back into no thingness, another major arcana card. So we are just jumping through dimensional hoops, transcending, alchemating, raising our vibration and holding it there. And that's really the thing, is this, the continual discipline to maintain that high vibration, which helps you to keep your crystalline tube clear, so that the signals you receive from the universe, it's funny, I'm telling you all this while the card is nothing, and I'm giving you all this spiel, but so that the signals, the good, juicy love and light signals, the true signals of the truth of everything that is beyond the universe, but that includes it, is that love, is that light. And so everything we do is to keep that channel, that main highway channel, cleansed, clean, clear, functioning, awakened, so that all the nothingness of the universe can fill us up. Because ultimately, if we're going to be filled with anything, let it be nothingness. In nothingness, there is peace, because there's no thing. Does that make sense? In nothingness, there's nothing. It's the void. It's the black. It's the blank slate. You know, and it's also the part of you that wants to be there. It's the part of you that really wants to be a blank slate and know nothing. And this is such a beautiful place to be. I know nothing. Nothingness. Another major arcana, silence. Look at the full moon, the face, the dusty light on what appears to be water on a lake in some kind of a natural setting. The third eye, the moon set at the third eye. It is so peaceful just looking at it. So, the third eye, as one learns to meditate daily, the third eye is relieved of third dimensional beliefs that it can be calcified. Silence. So what does nothingness speak about? Silence. There's no words. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to say. And that's your place to be. And from that place, guilt, schizophrenia, the feeling of having too many thoughts, of going out of your mind, being in too many places at once, being scattered, being pulled in different directions by your mind. That's why this calls for you to go on a sabbatical if you haven't been on one in a while. And it could just be going on a walk by yourself. It could be really taking off on a journey, but allowing it to be a spiritual one, allowing it to bridge you to an awareness of who you are when you're alone, how you feel when you're alone, where your thoughts go to when you're alone. There's great power in that. You know, relinquishing control, releasing the need to control how things show up for us, releasing the need to control others is such a big one. And releasing the need to control life, and that's all stuff in the mind, because what's waiting for all of us, and what's always the truth, everywhere, all the time, throughout all dimensions, time and space, because everything that is time and space is that which we've given a name, a person, place, or a thing. We are the world. The 0 point, this came up last month, or last time I read. Through the 0, there is 1. This represents all beings everywhere being awakened to one love, being awakened to one mind, one soul, one body. And while being in the awakened awareness of being one and connected with all things and beings, and that all is one, there is also all those individual beings feeling one, being together as one. It's the harmony they create when they come together. It is the one song, the universe. Beyond the universe is the one. Just the one. There's no song. It's just the one. One love. And then we get back to the source. So we found the 0 point. We connected the dots. Isn't that beautiful? And now we're back to the source. That's also the solar plexus. I am a conscious co-creator of my reality. I am a conscious co-creator of love and light in this world. Very powerful existence. When you consciously co-create, you become aware that every thought and every word and every deed you express and send out interconnects you with all things and beings everywhere. And so you go from, again, 0 to 1. You use the 0 to get to the 1, and the 1 to get to the 0. And the 0 is the Fool, is the Magician. You're being asked to shape-shift. So you are totally being asked to shape-shift. And again, it's identity, and it's who am I, and it's rebirth, right? And you might shed a lot of skins in between A to B. And that's a part of the game, that's a part of the plan, is that you continue to lose that which is not truly your truth, so that what abides is truly you. And in that you is the power, is the fire to spread that love and light, to live in lightness on this planet without taking it so seriously. And being able to spread your joy, your love, your wisdom, your calling, because that's what it's all about. That's what heaven on earth is all about, and that's where we're going, and that's actually what is already here. But as we create the correct conditions for those parts of us which are not our truth, to gently and consciously dismantle and dissolve for the highest good of all, what we're left with is the truth of who we are and the opportunity to then move into that and to explore it. And your innocence and your playfulness is calling you to do exactly that. To do exactly that. No more masks. Forget all that thinking and all those thoughts about who you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to show up as. Drop the masks. Drop all those parts of you. Is it your job? Is it your relationship? Is it a situation in your family? Is it a financial situation? You know, what is it where you're not being your true self? That's what this card wants you to drop, so that you can resume your playfulness, your lightfulness. That's what I was going to say. So once we begin to drop more and more of that stuff, our truth begins to shine through. And that's where, in the original, the Rebirth card, that's why we need the lion energy, because he gives us the courage to actually step into those parts of ourselves that we have not been owning, but that we are now currently creating the correct conditions for them to present themselves, so that we can step into them and figure out what that even feels like and means to us. And as we do, as you feel the place that you can fill and no one else can fill, all that light that brings creates a pathway for everyone else to become lit up, and to whatever degree they're ready to be ignited and to awaken, for them to also find that which is them in their truth. And that's what we do for each other, and that's how we create heaven on earth. one individual at a time. We can't do it for anyone else, but you do it for you. And that creates the correct conditions for me to pick up on as much of what I can perceive of that you've accrued in your own self and in your own life, because you begin to embody it. And some part of me that might be open or looking for that kind of picks up on that. And what I'm energetically available to receive, that which serves me, I can pick it up and begin to integrate it and be inspired by it. You know, because when someone starts to really live their truth and really go for it in life, whatever that might mean, really go for it. I guess because it is more rare, you know, and there's certain places that are set up in the world that are just for that. You know, some cities where it's just about that, and there's some cities where it's just about relaxing or taking a vacation. So what you're being called to is to drop all that is not you, break the chains of limitations. Again, another major arcana card. You are popping and locking. So breaking the chains of limitations, there's those eagle's wings again. You so have wings, and they are so ready to take flight. You just have to continue creating the correct conditions. And you have to go on your journey. It's time for you to go on your journey. Be the rebel. And only you can do it for yourself. Only you can do it for yourself. But you've got this, and you've co-created this. So it's all on you, and it's all perfect. And look at this. Here you go. There you go. There's a tiny little person right in there. And they're on a journey. They're on a journey. They're traveling. You're traveling. Through you creating the correct conditions to be open to the truth that you are, to the love and light that you are, and you begin to embody it and live it, you become invited into new aspects of yourself, and to introduce those new aspects of yourself to a larger audience, and to participate in ways that you have not yet, with whatever your wishes, hopes, and dreams are. This card is asking you to step up now. You've been doing the job of all those 4 individuals that are participating in the 4 directions in this card. You've been doing that, but this card wants you to do even more. It wants you to participate like you never have before. What is your wish? What is your hope? What is your dream right now? And how can you be doing it more? How can you embody that more? There's always more that we can be doing. Whether it is physically, you know, sending your book into publishers, getting licenses for your food business, painting those paintings for your gallery show, whatever it is. And then there's the marketing, the promotion, all that stuff. And so there's always stuff you can do. And this is asking you to keep doing that, but then to find there's new things that you haven't done yet with regard to that which you wish to co-create. And there's ways that you can totally participate in manifesting that. But you have to use the fire that you have to create more fire, to get new results. Because this time is done. This whole thing is just so done now. It's enough. No longer do you need to stand outside the gateway. The lock isn't even on the gate. The lock is not clicked. I don't know if you can see it. But the little boy is all disheveled. There's a chain around the gate, but it's not locked. And he's like this rainbow energy. All the chakras lit up, but not from where he is. Beyond, though, beyond the gate, his chakras could be lit up. You could go play and have fun and remember who he is, but be careful. You know, we hold ourselves back. We feel sorry for ourselves. We let our old patterning, our old conditions, the safety of really only going as far that we know the bounds of. You know, you tie the rope around the elephant, you put the stake in the ground. The elephant tries to go, it feels the pull of the rope. And then it goes the next day, the same thing, it feels the pull of the rope, and eventually it just doesn't even try to walk beyond those 5 or 8 feet away from the stake of the length of the rope extension. It just doesn't even try. And we can be the same way, and that can really bring us sorrow when the clash happens, when you know you're ready to move on, you're ready to grow, you're ready to go beyond the gateway. You're done with being the outsider. This is what's beckoning you. Participate. You have to participate. Learn new things, go new places, explore new cultures, new languages. Try on this version of yourself. Be the rebel, do things your own way. Because the truth is, you're right, you're ready. And things are actually set up for you. The fruit falling from the tree totally symbolizes that everything is already set up for you. You just get to click it all into place. In your heart, you get to match your heart with your mind and your mouth. And that's a tough exercise, but it's something that helps us to, via co-creationship with the law of vibration, through conscious affirmation of just conscious speech through mind in your thoughts and conscious speech through your mouth, because they both have energy in the universe, and they both connect you to people, places, and things, and in that connection transfer the energy patterns and blueprints of those people, places, and things. So being mindful of what you are saying, especially affirming. And so when we consciously create statements that embody the truth of who we feel we are, that which is not that truth becomes disturbed vibrationally, and all what is ready to be released releases, so that all you're left with is your truth. Wow. And again, this solar plexus energy, this is so powerful. And this is really, I am here, right? I am here, and all of these initiations into my truth as my higher self have brought me here. I am a conscious co-creator with the universe, with my reality. I am that I am. I'm aware that I am interconnected with all things and beings. I am aware that through and beyond that interconnection, I am also connected with the divine source, with the prime creator. I am that I am. And from that divine affinity, that divine union and awareness that I have cultivated through being able to sit alone in stillness and burn off the dross, the heaviness of thoughts, and conflicting thoughts. My Kundalini has been given the right opportunity to ease its way upward, allowing me to be present now from my center of personal power and will in the world. This is huge, because remember, you have the breakthrough, and this has been a process. You had this, right? But without your silence and without You're allowing of the nothingness, allowing yourself to be silent and still so that you can be filled with nothingness. I know nothing, right? You're creating the correct conditions for this, which ultimately brings us back to the full, moment to moment, being in the world and not of it, and knowing that the present moment is truly all there is. Time and space is a division, is a workshop of the mind, of the collective mind. And we create it with our words and our mouths, with the mind and the thoughts. Living in the now moment, practicing being present in the now moment, whether it's mindfulness meditation, doing slow, gentle yoga, chanting, meditating, being in nature, anything that's going to turn you on, turn your senses on, and connect them all, which then helps to connect your sixth sense, which is your electromagnetic fields, your aura, and it begins to turn on. And so your connection with the infinite now moment via the infinite source is attuned. And you've created the right spaces. And then look at this, of course, the Fool. It's like they're totally cousins. They're totally cousins. One step at a time. One breath at a time. Trusting. Trusting, trusting, trusting. We know the Fool, the Zero, the Magician, the Apprentice, the Master, the Sage, all of the above. Following his, her own heart to their promised land. They are lit up with their absolute awareness of what is true to them, and they trust it to their death. And they're happy if they do end up dying, that they died at least living their truth. And that's what you're being invited into. It might sound a little heavy, but the vortexes are open. You've been training for this. You've been training for this for about the last half a year. You've been training for this healing that's ready for you now. You've been preparing for this in your own way. And now, courage beckons you. Everything that you've strengthened and learned to muster up to this point is asking you. You know, Marianne Williamson has this little story she tells about every blade of grass has an angel whispering over it, grow, 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 you know? And it's cute. It's cute. And so imagine your angels in heaven, your whatever you believe in, your archangels or your divine guardians surrounding you, your oversoul group surrounding you and holding a ring of light around you and whispering to you, grow, grow, grow. You know, it's the same thing. There is so much ready to be released. This is what happens when we don't grow, when we suppress that which is ready to be released, right? Instead of completely loosening our grip, releasing the control, instead of doing what we can do to practice self-love and self-care, to get out of the mind, to get out of the clouds, out of all these thoughts, and all of these binding chains and threads, and your central nervous system is all messed up, and you're just in knots, and you're in so much pain because of all the thoughts that you're thinking. You're thinking too much. This card wants you to act through being, through embodying. And you cannot embody as long as you're bombarding yourself with insufficient nutrients, meaning insufficient thought forms that will keep your vibration of its highest that you can resonate as. That's what it's coming down to. And look, you already have it. You already are a success. It's already there. You just get to match your insides with that vision that you know is your truth. Match your word, match your mouth, match your vibrational frequency to that which it is. that you want to create success through. And it is done. And it is done. All over the world, too. It's very, very powerful. So, the idea is to release. Release the need to be alone. Release the need to hold on, to constipate not only your physical body, but your Sushumna, your crystalline too. If you don't do your healing work, your energy work, your chanting, your mantras, your yoga, your Reiki, you know for you what is appropriate for you to do your energy work to keep you attuned. Being in nature, there's all sorts of lovely things you can do, but if you don't do that, it gets clogged up. Same thing if you don't eat enough of the right kind of foods, you get clogged up physically. So your mind can get clogged up, your emotions can get constipated, your energy can get constipated. And when that happens, there's this in more than one place at the same time, and your mind is split. And because you're split, and that separation takes you away from the oneness, the truth that everything is perfect and divine in its perfect space, you feel the guilt of that. But you need to let that go. And you have, and you know how to do it. So if you're caught back in that place of guilt, of suppression, of trying to control the outcome, the situation, people, places, and things, that's not serving you. And what you're being called is to let go and keep letting go over and over and over and over and over again. Let go, let love. Let go, let God. However you want to see it. Yes, and sometimes there are tears, emotional releases that come with that too, which is important because look at this. If we don't, this is what happens, right? The suppression, the mind takes over. It causes stress in the body. It causes disease. It messes with the central nervous system, and it completely blocks that divine life force energy, that divine supreme oneness, that no-thingness that is beyond everythingness to enter us. So as we clear all those parts and create the correct conditions, the divine guidance, the angels, the most high love, the most high light, the most beautiful, healing, healthy word and feeling and intuitive notions come to pass to bring us back to the light, back to the oneness, back to the ability to create heaven on earth through our body vehicle, through experiencing oneness in ourselves. Yeah, rest now and keep doing the work, keep shedding the skins, rest now, because what's coming, I believe this speaks to November, what's coming is big opportunities in which to really share those gifts in the world. And you want to be on fire. Everything you touch is going to create change. So we've been going through some serious clicks of what I call the wheel of life. Clicks in the wheel of life. I know this past year has been absolutely wild for me and everything that has come to pass literally in about the last 11, 12 months of my life. Yet it hasn't just been one thing. It has been one huge thing after another. And just when you're like, okay, I'm processing that, I'm getting through that, I'm finding my way through this healing, boom, like another big thing happens. And another thing, and another thing. And I think a lot of us have been going through that in different degrees in our lives, right? The tower, that which has to be gone, which does not oscillate and vibrate with what is your truth and which parts of you are ready to move forward in life. Everything that is not that has to go, right? And if we don't create the correct conditions and do the work along the way to help the purging and the healing and the processing, then boom, something else happens instead, so that release of energy can happen. And what's waiting on the other side is love. And like the fairy tale, the very last card is the Lovers. I see this happening the first week in November, maybe Halloween night, something starting. And then the beginning of November, a new romance flourishing. If you're with a beloved partner, this is that partnership and that relationship moving to its next level of enlightenment, its next level of love. It begins with passion or heat and chemistry, right? It's physical. And then it becomes emotional, The heart gets turned on, not just the body. And then it can go through another cycle where each person gives the other person back to themselves. The union of the body and the heart and the mind become transformed to allow a higher union to manifest, to take place. And relationships go through these three processes: the initial attraction, the physical connection, the emotional calibration that happens, the mental aligning, and the spiritual connection, and the cycle of that. And I see you being given a really beautiful opportunity to experience. You know what this is about? Whether this turns into a flirt, or you've been married to the same person for 20 years and you flirt with them. Sometimes when you're with someone for a long time, you forget how to flirt. You stop flirting with them or with anyone else. And this is inviting that fun, that innocence back into, if you're in a long-term relationship, to allow that playfulness to have a home in the space between you and your sacred other. Even if it's been a long time, just begin to loosen up and allow that fun and that play to happen, because it's there for you. And really what this is about you showing up in your oneness after all this work that you've been training for and doing this last month. And now, boom, it's like going from the ugly swan, no, the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. Like energetically, that's what's happening. You might feel like the ugly duckling and like it's one thing after another, yet you keep jumping through the hoops and you keep ascending and you keep like coming into your power and owning it and transmuting and, walking into your divine, beautiful self. And as you continue to do that in this next month, there's definitely someone to meet you there and to recognize you there. And whether it ends up being, again, just some fun on Halloween night that sort of lifts your spirits and allows you to move into this next winter and fall time with a pep in your step, or if it's literally something in a relationship where it's moving to the next level. It's either starting physically, chemically, moving into an emotional realm, or moving into a spiritual aspect where that connection is like really recognized on a much, much larger scale. And it's beautiful. It's fun. Have fun. Have fun. This person does have a potential to really rock your world. Right? Even if they just end up being a one-night fling or a lover, they're going to show you things about yourself that you haven't had reflected back to you in a very, very long time, or ever at all. So this person is very significant, whether they're someone that you're already with, where they start to show up in a more evolved version of themselves, or you both show up as that evolved version of yourself. Your love is ready to ascend, and you're both ready to know each other on those new levels of who you are becoming. It's beautiful. Well, I wish you so many blessings on this beautiful weekend, October 8th. Namaste, and thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing.